this is Lucy once again. Thank you and welcome once again. On my previous video, we did speak about how we as parents could support our children at home during this time of coronaviruses. For our kids are not going to school and they are neither having their therapy session, and we thought it's good to communicate so that we can help one another overcome. And on the video we did speak about stimulating our children, because we said we start with the small things so that we can reach to the bigger things, that is feeding them. And we got to know a few things how we can stimulate, and we also learned how we can help them learn to taste different things. We can be of good support, being creative and giving them, according to how we know them, the support that they may require. On this video, I would like us to go ahead and now we will discuss about practically how can we then help them to drink. Good. Before we go ahead, I like to demonstrate something that I've learned that is very, very useful for our children. And this is plain water, and this is a spoon, and that is a glass. And I came to realize that children love eating these flakes. It's a Weetabix. It's available everywhere. In many countries, in many towns, you find that in the normal supermarkets or in the normal shops, you find Weetabix. Weetabix is a flake that children love dearly. It doesn't really have a pleasant taste, but it's good, you know. When a child is lacking the possibilities of drinking liquids like we all know, we can use this as a method to teach them how to learn. My daughter, for example, this she takes every now and then during the day, because I told you she also suffers or she has problems of drinking. She chokes, and therefore we have to be very careful, not forgetting that choking is very dangerous to our children, because through choking our children develop lung infections. They get really lung infections. And lung infection, especially this time of corona, is very, very dangerous, because we all know that is a very dangerous thing. And when our kids are having that high risk of getting this kind of a problem through choking, then we have to do all what it takes to avoid that. Therefore, you see, this is Weetabix. It doesn't look so pleasant, neither does it smell pleasant, but I know my daughter likes it with warm milk. And then we don't put sugar. We put some honey, just a small amount of honey. You take honey, this is honey. When you add into it, as you can see, depending on where you are and the kind of honey you have, this is what I have for today. And then we can put a small amount either in the milk or in the water, or one can do some teas. Remember, tea, depending on what the kids like. Maybe a child is suffering from a stomachache, you like to give them a tea. You make a tea, they cannot drink the tea as we expect, so you can mix the tea with the Weetabix, right? And put some honey, and then the more you mix it and the more you wait for some time, it becomes thick and thick and thick, and therefore after we can feed our children with a spoon. And that is, it's simple and it cannot choke the child, and therefore we can use, you see there was a lot of water in the glass, and that amount of water is still there. It's only that it gets absorbed by the Weetabix, and then we feed our children as we want them to take the liquids. That is one. And on the other side, if you don't have the access to the Weetabix, or maybe it's on the budget, it's not something that one must say, okay, that is the only way. One can also use normal biscuits, right, to mix. And also another method is what I have learned along the time is that normal water, when you are feeding our children, whatever meal, may it be lunch, may it be dinner, we should always have a warm glass of water and add towards the meal. Always add, because and that way the child is consuming the liquids, and the liquids are very, very important for the child's body. So I said we can use the Weetabix, put it in water, in milk, or in teas, let the child use a spoon, or feed the child with it with a spoon, put some honey or mix some biscuits, or get some water by every meal. Get water, warm water, and always add into the food. I know, dear parents, it's hard job, but it's worth, because then we give our kids, remember we said the basics of life, the most important thing is food, warmth, shelter, and love. And now we started with the most important one, and that is the food, feeding and drinking. And when we do that kind of water process, as I have spoken, could be tea, could be soup, could